Hello, my name is Spencer, and this will be the first video in a series where I want to talk about interactivity in open world video games and explain why I think that games aren't as interactive with you and reactive to you as I think they should be. But I will give credit where credit is due for interactivity. So what do I mean by an open world game? I'm talking about a game in which you can travel from one side of the map to the other without interruption. So, in a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you need to go to a menu to select a region you want to travel to. You cannot, for instance, sail from Norway to England. That would not be an open world game by my definition. I'm breaking this down into multiple parts as I have a lot of games to cover in more videos to come. So now, what do I mean by interactivity? We'll be talking about NPC behavior, how you can interact with NPCs, artificial intelligence, AI, and what things are there to do in the world when you're not doing missions or quests. How alive is the world when you're just walking around? Before I get into this, I want to put in a disclaimer. All of these opinions are my own, and all the games that I plan to play for this series I do like in some way. I wouldn't make a whole series about it if this wasn't important to me and important to tell you about it. So be sure to like the video if you enjoy it and consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see the rest of the series along with my other videos. Okay, so let's begin. So, I will be looking at Assassin's Creed Unity in this video. The first thing you should know is that the game takes place in Paris during the French Revolution. There are a lot of people out in the streets. People gather in huge crowds in protest. Some are getting beaten up or killed. Others are just conversing, eating, juggling, breathing fire, or just walking around. You might think that means there are plenty of opportunities to interact with them, right? Well, let's take a look at what you can do. As you walk around, Arno, your character, may gently move around people, or if you're running, shove them out of the way. Most of the time, people stumble around, but be careful not to shove the wrong people like guards or thugs. Thugs will draw their weapons and attack you on sight. You can still blend in with crowds here. To make blending a bit more interactive, I think you should add the ability to do similar things to what the crowd is doing. If people are in the crowd yelling and waving their arms around, you should be doing that too. Not standing there placidly like Arno is right now. Nobody else is dressed like Arno, and I think he sticks out like a sore thumb. So let's talk about some other ways you could interact with people. You can find painters around the city painting scenes, or they may have a person posing for them. Can you walk up and ask to have your portrait painted? No, you can't. Combine this with renovating social clubs, which I'll get to in a bit, and you could decorate part of the club with a self-portrait or two. There are people who dance in the streets. You can't join them for a bit of fun? Why not make a rhythm-based game out of it? You'll see people smoking a pipe, like this gentleman here. Or having drinks, but you can't interact with them. This would be a nice opportunity for a short in-game animation, eating, drinking, or smoking, while talking to this person or people and get some information about the world. Is this person having money troubles? Marriage on the rocks right now? Have they lost someone during these turbulent revolutionary times? Or do they know the location of something I might find valuable? I want to know these things. It adds texture and depth to the world. One thing you can do to get the crowd to react to you is to throw money pouches. This is supposed to act as an instant cover that attracts people to you, and Arno does crouch down like he's going to pick up the coins so he can blend in, but he doesn't, there's no animation, he doesn't do anything. And why is it that I have to buy money pouches instead of throwing some money and it comes out of your account? Like if I have 100 currency and I throw some and 10 comes out, so now I have 90. Why am I paying money for a pouch filled with money?
I wish to register a complaint.
You can't use this to distract guards or thugs. The guards get paid plenty and the thugs just steal money. In fact, if the thugs see you throw money in front of them, they'll probably go, "Oh, okay, Mr. Moneybags, you got money to throw around. Let's see how much you got. Get 'em, boys." Speaking of buying things, you can't hold up a store like, say, in the Grand Theft Auto games. I guess I can let this one slide since that's not the kind of character Arno is. Although, he is a mass murderer. He kills a lot of people. Not just thugs either, town guards as well, who are likely just as scared and tense as anyone else with all the unrest going on. You can point your gun at people and they will react. Some of the time. Sometimes they run away immediately, but other times they stand there cowering in fear for a long time before running away. If they run away at all. Some people don't react even when the person right next to them had a gun pointed at them. The mixed reactions are strange to me. Okay, so how about this guy right here? I'm gonna walk up to him and point a gun at him. He runs, right? He's scared. The guy next to him, cowering in fear, doesn't go anywhere. Move the crosshair over, then he runs. Same with this guy. Not running, boom. Crosshair goes over him, now he runs. It's really weird that they're in my proximity. They can, I think, see, well, obviously not, see that I have a gun, and they should probably get out of there. But they don't move until the crosshair is on top of them. So it's very strange. So this one time, I killed someone in front of like a dozen other people. And most of them run, but this guy doesn't, along with a few others. And I've shot around their general area 6 different times, and they still don't run. Now sometimes crowds do react in a believable way. You can make a large crowd disperse by shooting off multiple times. And this makes sense that you have to shoot multiple times, given the situation in the game where people are getting shot and stabbed all the time. One shot won't do much, but multiple shots in succession, that'll get people to run. But not everyone reacts. Check out this nun over here, for example. I take a shot, no reaction. Then I pull out my gun, point it right at her face, and take a shot, and she's like, "Yeah, you got a gun in my face. What of it?" Let's look at something else here. If there is a fight in the street, I can't break it up by saying or doing anything to the people fighting. All I can do is awkwardly walk into people to make them stop. But that's not interacting. I'm just interrupting their animations. There was a time when I saw a thug commit a crime right in front of the guards. This poor guy is harassed, threatened, assaulted, and then the criminal just runs away. And the guards passively watch, and they did nothing to intervene. And then later you see I'm chasing after this guy, and I would tackle him and bring him into the authorities and maybe get a reward, but I can only kill him. And then the guards come after me, and then they kill me. I don't make it out of this fight alive. But, you know, I don't even have the option to use non-lethal force. And I died. And you can't pickpocket anymore. You used to be able to pickpocket constantly in previous games. It's how you made a little money and replenished your throwing knives and other consumables. And there are so many people on the street that I could take money from, but I just can't do it. Remember in Assassin's Creed 2 you could hire courtesans and use them as mobile cover and send them off to distract guards? It was a neat idea. Mobile cover and a distraction. Well, you can't hire them anymore, and you can't do the mobile blend, you can't distract the guards. In fact, you can't hire anybody to help you. There used to be thieves and mercenaries too. Do you remember the social clubs I mentioned before and how you can't put paintings in them? Well, these social clubs are a building you can renovate in order to go on co-op missions and nothing else. I guess there is some passive income too. And you can change your gear here, but you can do that from the start menu. I can't talk to anyone inside the club or get a drink from the bartender. I can't customize it either. And those paintings I said you should be able to have painted for you? Yeah, there are a bunch of paintings all around the club, but I can't swap them out. What's the point of owning this building if there's nothing to do inside of it? There are more paintings upstairs, but wouldn't it be cool to swap this one out for one of your own? Add a little flavor to your own social club? There's even this guy right outside the club that I could ask to paint a picture of the club itself or something like that. But I can't do it. And there are animals in the game, but you can't do anything with them. You can't shoot them, which I'm fine with, but you can't pet them either. If you're gonna put doggos and kitty cats and goats in the game, I want to pet them. They're not just window dressing. Why do you torture me like this? I've got a couple other things I'd like to say about how people don't react to the rain in any way. A painter should be hurrying to pack up an easel, otherwise his painting will get ruined, but they don't seem to care. And nobody is rushing for shelter or covering their head from the rain either. They're acting like nothing is going on. And the same can be said for paper makers that I found in-game. Paper making is not a profession where you want your product getting wet under any circumstances. But they don't seem to care at all. Maybe they've been making a killing selling revolutionary newspapers like The Friend of the People. So if they lose a few copies of it, it doesn't matter. They've been selling a lot of them. And at this point, you can consider this to be just a bit of griping, but one of the things that bothers me is when open world games have to create boundaries. You can see here that I'm approaching this open gate, and then I just get blue-walled, or white-walled, whatever you want to call it. But you can clearly walk through this, or you should be able to walk through this, right? And the same over here with this wooden fence. You can easily jump over this, but this is the edge of the world. You can't go any further. And I can see that there's more world out there. I can even see a building or two in the distance. I want to know what's out there, and it bothers me so much when the game cuts you off and says, nope, that's it. And this is supposed to be the border, a fence I can easily jump. Now, this area is a bit better. You have a very high wall. You're not going to be climbing this. And this is fine as a border. I don't care about this. But I do still care that this white kind of digital effect shows up. And I get it. You're in a simulation. You're not actually... I don't even know the character that you're playing in the modern day section in this game, but you're not actually Arno. You're playing a simulation, you're playing the memories, but it still bothers me that this shows up. This is distracting. And you only see it on the edge of the world, so it's... Well, actually, no, this digital effect will show up other times as well. But when I'm in a historical setting, and I love history. I was actually a history major in college at first, and then I switched. But I love history. I want to be... I hate this word, immersed. It's the only one I can come up with. Immersed in the French revolutionary times. I don't want any sort of modern stuff showing up. So, I just want to be clear that this and future videos in this series are not meant to tear down every game I look at. I've spent an absurd amount of time making and editing this, but I'm very particular about it. But I do need to plan ahead even more going forward if I want to cover everything I want to. And I'm making these because I care enough about this that I want to share suggestions about how to make these types of games more interactive and enjoyable to play in. I can't define it exactly, but I'm imagining games where you have more of a presence in the world, where it's not just about making the big decisions that alter the story, but the little things that you do in between, making the world feel alive, one that reacts to you, but reacts to itself and what it's doing. The world will keep turning even if you sit on a bench and watch it go by. And so if you made it to this point in the video, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate that. I enjoy making these videos a lot. If you could leave a like if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more videos in the series, if you want to check out my other videos, and consider telling a friend about this video or other videos of mine. I think that still one of the best ways for information to travel is by word of mouth. So if you tell a friend and they enjoy it, they could tell somebody else who enjoys it, who tells somebody else, and it goes on and on and on. And I think that's the best way to get that information out there, and I really appreciate you watching. And one other thing, well, there's going to be two other things, but one other thing, I also stream on Twitch. I stream all kinds of games. I've been playing Dying Light lately. I like playing Titanfall 2, all sorts of games. You can find me there Fridays at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then also Saturdays, usually 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a good day. One last thing, I have a number of clips showing the Kill the Criminals interaction or event and the dialogue that goes on between the criminals and the person that they're about to kill. So please enjoy.
What's that? Speak up! You tell me who the revolutionaries are.
Get out of here right now!
That's your answer then. You tell me now, or I'll cut you. Hey?
Please, I don't know what you're talking about.
Not good enough. I'll give you a week to find out who they are, and then I'll be back, and I won't be put off again. What a surprise to meet you.
I don't owe you anything.
You owe me last night's profits.
That's it. I'll report
That's
you
it,
to the
rich
carters.
bastard! Guess you wanted to keep everything to yourself. Don't make this harder than it has to be. Give me a name! There's only two ways this
Go on then,
ends.
bloody cowards. You think you can make me talk?
You got a family?
Je n'ai jamais vu cette personne.
I don't do business with extortionists. Get away. Sooner throw my money in the river.
Tous les clients sont les bienvenus.
Come here a minute, father. I'm sick of your fun. The revolution's the end for the likes of you.
Now, calm yourself.
Trying to pay for your
You're being
sins.
very rude.
In blood!
Tuez tous les porteurs de permis!
Don't you try to pull the wool over my eyes. What you planning, royalist?
Oh, Get out of here right now!
Sure you want to do that? You really want to piss off a man with a very large knife?
Please. I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe that will teach you some bloody manners. When I come back, you better be...
What do you want then?
You were right.
What exactly are you accusing me? I'm no traitor.
Answer the bloody question. You look like a royalist with your fancy clothes and your stupid... Shut the...
Don't think you're funny, do you? Le Comte de Frou-Frou. I told you everything I know. Think we wouldn't figure out it was a fake name? Nobody likes it. I told you everything. Do it. Oh.
Decided I don't owe you anything. That tears it. I'll report you to the court.
It's not nice to cut us out. I know. I don't. Nom de Dieu! En œuvre!